Anyone But You, 2023. I've seen this film twice now. Firstly, in the cinema right at the start of the year, and then again about 6-7 months later. I noticed it was on streaming and was looking for a comedy. This is a rom-com. There's a need for light-hearted stuff. I do like my gritty dramas and lots of other stuff, but every so often I really need something light, lightness and shade. But I think this film had some really nice touches to help it stand out. I didn't remember that much from the first viewing. I knew I liked it, but I really needed the refresher of seeing it a second time. The premise of the film is that the two protagonists, played by Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell, B and Ben, pretend that they're going out and they're smitten with each other, even though they're not. When I first saw the trailer in the cinema a week or two before, the Titanic scene is really memorable. So if you've seen the trailer, you'll see the couple, or pseudo couple as they are, because it will help them in the goals of the things that they really want. In the case of B, it's because her parents want her to rekindle a relationship with her ex. He's come along to her sister's wedding. She doesn't want to do that. Ben was interested in a woman at the party. So there's B and Ben. Ben is smitten with Margaret, but if he seems to be going out with B, that will make Margaret keen to reconnect with him and start to chase him. And that's the plan. So the story starts off in Los Angeles. The first scene's in a cafe. She needs to use the bathroom, the restroom, and if it's a really popular place, there's a massive queue, and the staff say toilets for customers only. Now, Ben's right at the front of the queue and he overhears her and he says, "That's my wife," and to sort of cover to get her the key because the staff are being awkward with her. And that works. So she gets to go into the bathroom without having to queue up, and she has a mishap. I think she spills something on her jeans. She has to dry them, so she spends ages in there. And it's that sort of humour, slightly slapstick, elements of repartee that I feel work really well. It warms up the characters for us who we're dealing with during the film. When she's in the bathroom, she's phoning a friend to say she's met someone she likes, because she does like Ben. But that's where the tap malfunctions, the faucet as it's called in the US, and splashes on her jeans. After she comes out the loo, she says, "Shall we swap numbers?" And they actually go on a date. The next morning, she ditches him. She wakes up early, leaves his apartment before he wakes up. And that's unacceptable. I've seen so many films where this sort of thing happens. It's not a favourable thing to do, to leave before they wake up and not stay for breakfast, or at least greet them. And I suppose there's all that awkwardness of what do you do if you wake up together, say it's a working day, and I don't know how dates work, one night stands. There are a lot of rules, a lot of etiquette. That's a good way of creating tension between characters in rom-com narratives like this. This works because she leaves quickly and then she's on the phone to her friend, and her friend says, "What, you actually left? Oh, why did you do that?" "Oh, that was a mistake." So she goes back and she goes to the open door of his flat, and his flatmate has returned, and Ben is discussing her, not exactly favourably, probably because he's annoyed with her, and he says something unflattering, and she thinks, "Oh well, I was right to just leave." So anyway, all this happens at the start. And then there's a few elements that are perhaps similar to that sort of mild criticism I had of it ends with us. Coincidences happen. I don't know, are they coincidences? Well, anyway, the characters are intertwined. There's other people who know them both, and they both end up going from California to Australia, to Sydney, to participate in B's sister's wedding. They all fly over. So they're on this flight in separate sections. I think Ben is in business class. He's got plush set up, whilst B is in economy and she's scrunched up next to a couple of people. You know, they're going to have jibes at each other. It's a long flight, and a bit later on, she goes over to the toilets and the toilets are occupied, so she goes over into first class, notices where Ben is sitting, sees that he's got a cookie, leans over, gets entangled. She gets her head close to his and hears Unwritten, the song by Natasha Bedingfield from 2004. Now, I didn't notice this back in January, but I've noticed it throughout this year, and it's a similar phenomenon to how Saltburn has reinvigorated another naughty song. I love how naughty songs are being revived by films, and I think that's what's happened here. Unwritten, it's a beautiful song. Ben describes it as his serenity song. Love the lyrics, and it's all about affirmations and we're all unique and valuable, precious people, everyone. This song is actually woven through the film. I get to see that in the end credits. I love how they did that. But there's the whole film, so we get to Australia, and I won't say much about what happens there. Not getting on great, but they figure it's the best way of dealing with matters. It's very much based on Shakespeare. There's quotes throughout it. This whole film is like a modern version of Much Ado About Nothing. And it is lovely how those quotes are sort of pasted throughout the film, embedded in the infrastructure playfully. I like how that's done in films nowadays. It's one of those things that make it a very enjoyable rom-com. I'd forgotten about so much else until I saw the film all over again. I don't know if I'd like the characters that much. They're alright, they're okay. I don't see anything unlikable about them. I don't find them people I'd swoon over and find very attractive, either of them. There's many actors and many characters that I do find endearing. This film is very watchable. I think the other elements, the Shakespeare angle and the unwritten song, I think that's what really appealed to me. For that, I will be scoring the whole film as 9 out of 10. I wouldn't give it any more because there were certain elements that were very forgettable first time round, I think. And I'm a bit confused by that. It might be just the fact that I see so many films, and after a while, storylines start to blur, and it does take something really strong. Rom-coms as a whole, I find fade more quickly. I think it's probably the best rom-com that I've seen in 2024. But it took this second viewing of 4 for me to realise why I liked it. That's it. Like if you like this review. Thanks if you subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.